Folks, welcome in. Sunday night football on the closing line, an exciting action-packed day of National Football League action. For me, a very profitable day. Been having a lot of fun so far to open the National Football League season. Welcome into the show tonight. We're going to be with you for the next maybe hour. I would say about 45 minutes. We'll recap what went on this afternoon and also some of these late games still finishing up and underway. An overtime matchup versus San Francisco and the Arizona Cardinals. Just watching it live here. Looks like they're going to go for a field goal, which does not end the game. But, Cardinals would have to go down and score a touchdown in order to win it. Only about maybe 2 minutes to go in the game. We'll see what happens. Big man, what's going on over there, brother?
Donnie, can you hear me all right?
Barely, man. Barely. It's really low.
Well, I'm going to have to fix it here.
There you go. A little bit better.
How about now?
There you go. Bang it. You're in, baby. You're in.
All right. I'm doing well. Winner for me today. We both won, you and I. So, yeah. Hey, look, for me, it's been a great start to the season. 4 out of 5 winning weeks. And the only losing week was I think a quarter unit. So it's been a good start to the year. I'm excited about football season. NFL's been fun, and we got a Big Eagle win about 20 minutes ago. So I'm very happy, excited today. Should be a fun show and a good night.
Yeah, by the way, Jeff, I had 2 games today that I actually had to really, really sweat out today. You, on the other hand, just sat back in your lazy boy chair with an easy one. Talk about that W you got.
Oh, it was a hand ride, Donnie. Complete hand ride. Easy winner. That's what we call it here in South Philadelphia, hand ride winner, Donnie. Yeah, it was best. He mentioned to me, I think this is a game where Cincinnati kind of shows off a little bit. And, the Browns are a bad football team, man. They don't win very much ever. So, it was a great win, easy winner, and we'll take those, Donnie.
I know. Look, Jeff, looking at the Browns, again, you come into this football game, and I don't know where the sharp notion got churning to take the Browns. And every single Sunday night, Jeff, every Sunday, every time we talk about the Browns, I'm going to go through it every time. You have a baseball front office. You passed on Carson Wentz. Your head coach is absolutely bafflingly trash. He's an offensive guru, right? You scored 7 points. You were down 31-0 to the last 2 minutes. Nothing goes right in Cleveland. Here's what I need you guys to do. Jimmy Haslam, sell the football team. Fire your baseball GM front office. Your GM is a lawyer, not a football guy. Just implode the franchise and get rid of it. You are the single most embarrassing franchise since 1999 when you came back into the league. A laughingstock, and every single year you do something dumber and get even worse. It's hilarious. And yet, Jeff, people still bet on the Cleveland Browns.
And you know what's amazing? You don't get Carson Wentz 2 years ago. Last year, I will never understand the thinking pattern behind drafting a defensive end number 1. I'll never understand that thinking pattern ever. There's no one out there other than J.J. Watt in his prime that I'm drafting number 1. They can't win you a football game late. I don't understand it. It's like giving Ndamukong Suh $100+ million. He's just not going to make that much of a difference. And in a football game late, they are not going to make a difference. They're not going to kick the touchdown. They're not going to be able to run the football. I don't get it. Cleveland is a terrible run organization, but I'll tell you what, I'm not going to feel too bad for them. They got a good baseball team. They got a good basketball team.
Yep.
I'm not going to feel too bad for them.
Yeah, no, just looking at it overall, we always make the joke in Philadelphia every Christmas. I'm just going to repeatedly send a Christmas card to them for passing and letting us have Carson Wentz. And Sashi Brown, the lawyer / I'm not really a GM, I'm not a football guy. Somehow I must have won a case in court for Jimmy Haslam for beating the feds, and he just gave me the GM job, saying that he ripped the Philadelphia Eagles off for Carson Wentz. Bravo, my man. If that's getting ripped off, I'll get ripped off every day of the week, Jeff.
Yeah, I would. I'd get ripped off every single hour of the day if that was the case. Yeah, a dreadful decision there. Yeah, I don't get it myself. But hey, sharps are sharps. They know what they're doing, betting on the Browns.
Yeah, easy. That was I saw you tweet that out earlier, or not tweet out, excuse me, on the email that you sent out. I was impressed with that, and I looked at it. And I talked with Gabe on the closing line. Gabe was in on it. If you followed the closing line, me and Gabe were also on that as well. I didn't give that out as a premium play, but we were all in agreement. What are you doing betting the Cleveland Browns? And that's just the way it's going to end.
And I think the NFL is one of those things. And again, Donnie, I don't ever call myself. I don't love the NFL like you do or others do. I just try to find one winner a Sunday and that's that. It made a winning week, and we'll take those. You know, one game a day in NFL. You can't get hurt, and you win a game and you move on.
No, you're right. And it's a whole gambling philosophy, Jeff, which, again, you abide by the same rules I do. There's something to bet almost every day. You take a good shot, which you did, you won easily. And I get a lot of the times in my emails as well, Jeff, DMs, which you probably get the same thing. And the bet, like, I like to give out 3-packs. That's what I like to do. Saturday, I go 2-1. Lost by 1 point in the UMass game, but had a nice win on UNLV last night to come into today. Jeff, I couldn't find the third play. So instead of just giving out a third play, just sat on 2 and said, you know what? I'm really confident with these 2 plays. I don't need to put out a third. I won the first 2, and then immediately, most gamblers, Donnie, what do you got tonight? What do you got tonight? I don't have a decided edge tonight. We'll just roll it over. And that's the first thing that you can learn in gambling is there's something the very next day. Take your shot, hit it, and move on.
I mean, this business is about making money every day. It's not about, getting rich. It's not about, blowing your load on a couple different games. It's not about that. And if you think you're going to do that, I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, you have to grind away. If you lose a couple units, it's okay. But you can't be going crazy. You can't go out there and say it's similar to doing anything. If you go full force at it, you're either going to get sick of it, you're going to fail. You're going to fail in this business. You're going to learn a lot. I fail all the time. I think there are things that happen to me that I'm like, fuck me, man. Why did I do that? But you get older, you learn things, you cut out things, and you just learn how to be smart with your wagers. Getting a bankroll and all that kind of thing. Donnie, Jeff in the chat. The Bills are now in first. No. I'm not going to co-sign this. The Bills beat the Falcons, which, let's be honest, there was a terrible call on that. The guy's arm was clearly going forward. That was a despicable fuck job by the refs there. That was
which
not
game,
a fumble.
Jeff, I'm sorry. I'm trying to stare at that. I think Arizona might have scored a touchdown here. They're going to review it.
I'm talking the Bills and the Falcons. And they still Donnie, you would agree that was not a fumble.
We were on the air when that happened, and I didn't have that up, so I'm not actually sure.
Okay, it was a horrible call.
Explain the play. I know the play you're talking about. I think it was
basically
one of the hands going forward.
Yeah, Matt Ryan's arm was clearly going forward. Tre'Davious White picks it up, scampers back for touchdown. Plus, there was no Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu. It's a great win, and I love that defense. Their defense is for real. I mean, we all know that, but I don't listen. New England's New England. They'll be there at the end. I don't think there is a shot, but I mean, again, if you're getting good odds, why not take a shot? I don't know what the odds are currently, but objectively, no, I don't think they can. But hey, the Patriots look like they have a chick in their armor right now.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. I mean, the Patriots and the Bills going to be interesting. Well, let me see what happened here in Arizona. Called the booth review. Oh, call confirmed. How about that? Wow, that one of those plays, Jeff. Are you watching this at all? Can you see it?
No, I'm not watching it, Donnie.
I mean, a bang play in the back of the end zone. Looked like he got 2 feet in, but you couldn't tell 100% whether or not he had control where the ball was at. It was one of those plays, Jeff. They called it a touchdown. They couldn't have overturned it, and they couldn't overturn it there. That's an interesting call right there. Wow.
And yet again, shitty Cardinals don't cover. This team sucks. They are not any good. They are bad. I mean, how many times do we have to talk about this team, Donnie? They're not any good.
The club coming down the end, and Palmer sacked again. Palmer sacked like every damn play. Jeff, by the way, you know what's interesting about this? We brought it up a couple times during the shows this week. How about this stat again? Los Angeles Rams go on the road, which, again, I got to give you props. You called the Rams, and I'm not ashamed to admit I was completely wrong on the Rams. But, again, the NFL is a week-to-week season.
Sure.
You know, Jeff, I hate the Los Angeles Rams, right? I took the Rams today because it was the right play to do it. They end up winning outright. I'm going to end up having to pay you a unit, which I'm fine with. I won today, and we'll see what happens. But I'm man enough to admit I was wrong on the Rams. But how about this whole play Thursday night rest and then come back and win outright? You're almost looking at, I mean, it's probably going to end with a tie here in Arizona, the way it looks. But again, the Niners going to tie, not lose, and cover the line. What a nice little, against the spread number to start the season now. I believe it'll make it 6-0 now.
Yeah, the Rams are, again, I thought they played well again today. You go on the road. That's a big win to get there. I know they give up points, and they have some trouble, but that's a good offense you're facing there on their home turf. You know the Dallas Cowboys are going to get calls late. But hey, you know what the big thing, Donnie, was?
Mm-hmm.
They were facing a defense that was just as bad, if not worse, and they made the play at the end of the game to win the football game. And Jared Goff is starting to mature. There's a reason he was the number one pick, Donnie. I mean, you might say, okay, well, Carson probably should have been, but Goff had talent. I mean, he needed a year. He got some weapons finally, and he has some weapons. They have a pretty good offense now, and they got a new coach. All that hoopla's out of there in L.A. They have a full season. Everyone's in their house for a year. Everything is just sped up, and now it's normal again. It's like the first week of school, Donnie, when you went to school, and everything was all over the place. You didn't have any homework, and everyone was happy to be back, and then the school starts, and you got to focus and you take care of business, and they're doing that. That's a huge win, and it's a big win for Eagle fans. The fact that not only they lost, but the Giants lost as well. Big win today for the Rams. Really impressive.
Jeff, I mean, that's it. Their offense is good. You saw it coming from a mile away. All of a sudden, midweek, Sean Lee's not practicing hamstring. The minute he was downgraded to no-go, or you thought he was going to be no-go when you heard last night, let's see what the Larry Fitzgerald just caught a touchdown pass. Wow, how about that? There you go, Tho Marino. Escape with a W right there. That's just a balls play, man. What a great drive. Wow.
But you look at what are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
The Rams.
Right, the Rams. I mean they're getting better. They're getting there. Their coach has obviously injected some life into this team. I thought they'd be better defensively, but hey, I think they'll take whatever they can get right now.
No, their defense. LaMarcus Joyner being out was a big factor in this ball game. And again, going forward, I believe he's their best cover guy overall.
And by the way, Donnie,
yeah, what's up?
When Sean Lee is not in the football game for the Dallas Cowboys, they're not only bad, we know defensively, they could be one of the worst defenses in the league without Sean Lee.
No,
Sean Lee is everything.
More than because I even brought that up when I was talking with Gabe today, Jeff, and shouted us out when we were talking about that way before. Sean Lee in versus Sean Lee out Dallas Cowboys. It's night and day. One player can make that big of a difference. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, he's a great linebacker. He's a guy that he's had some injury problems in his career, but he's a guy that I want on my team. A great player, and without him, they're really, really bad.
Yeah, let's keep ripping down some of these games, but that Rams game just fantastic. Gurley was great in that game. No turnovers for the Rams. They were fantastic when they needed to score. They got it. You do need some breaks in the National Football League. One of my premium plays was plus 6.5 today on the Rams. The Switzer fumble on the punt changed that game up a little bit. Rams started to play some defense in the second half. Wade Phillips got those guys kicking, but a nice win for the Rams overall. What was it, Jeff? 17-6 early on. Double-digit lead for most of the first half for the Cowboys. Going on the road for the Rams, a young team like that with a young head coach, that's fantastic. So we'll leave that one there, but a nice win by the Rams, and we'll see where they end up. What do the Rams have next week? I haven't checked the schedule yet, but I'm going to look into that. But
I know the Eagles have the Cardinals. I don't know who.
The Eagles have the Cardinals next
Rams have the Seattle Seahawks at home.
Hey, man, they got them at home though. Seattle, outside of Seattle,
they always play Seattle pretty well. So
yeah, because again, picture this, Jeff. Next week, I mean, two worst offensive lines in the league for me: Giants and Seattle. Aaron Donald next week literally is going to be sitting on Russ's lap the entire football game. So that should be fun to watch.
Sure.
Let's go. Let's keep it moving, Jeff. Let's go. We'll go right down in the order that I have it on my screen. New Orleans and Miami, earlier day game. Kickoff in London. Again, me and Jeff don't like the London games. It was a brutal game to watch. I think coming into the game, Jeff, most people were leaning on New Orleans in this situation. Opened up at -2, closed at -4. Easy victory, 3-0 at the half, pulled away in the second half. Miami looks cooked out there. And I guess, Jeff, that's what you get for bringing Jay Cutler back, who's in it for a paycheck, and we'll see what happens. But it's not a good look for Miami right now. They have way too many weapons on offense to get shut out by the goddamn Saints.
Donnie, in the Premier League today, there were 6 teams that played today. There were 3 games. 4 scored more than the Miami Dolphins. Just wanted to let all the Dolphins fans know. Arsenal actually outscored them as well. They scored more goals than the Miami Dolphins did at all. Brutal. I mean, a team that just looks dead. I mean, last 2 games you've scored 6 points against the Saints and the Jets. When you get shut out by the Saints, I'm not sure people get what that is like. I mean, that's like, I don't even know what that's like. It's brutal, brutally bad. Dolphins are brutal right now. I can't really call it either because they have weapons, they have good players, they have a good run game, but they don't run the ball enough. And Jay Cutler is, I think he's just done with life in football. I mean, I think he came back just for the money. I think clearly.
Yeah, got talked into it. Because, I mean, Jeff, you know as well as I do, growing up or doing whatever you do, let's just say you're capping. We'll put it in capping perspective. And you're not going to cap NFL this year. You're not even paying attention to it. Week 12 comes up. Some guy says, I'll give you $5,000. You can be my capper. Pick my games this week. You're completely out of it. And you go, you know what? It's $5,000. Oh, no, I went 0-3 this week, 0-3. Yeah, I'm just not into it this year. In every walk of life, imagine being a wired athlete where you're getting your body ready, you're getting your mind ready for the next football season. Jay Cutler was retired in his head, and somebody said, you know what? I'll give you $10 million if you suit up. And you go, you know what?
Well, it would be a
monster mansion for me when I retire.
It would literally be like for me tomorrow, the bank calls me tonight and says, listen, we want you to come back and work. Yeah. We'll give you double what you made, and we'll give you 3 days off a week. Yeah. I still have to go back tomorrow and work. I'm not used to that. I haven't worked in over a year. I'm not used to that. Yep. It's just it wasn't going to work. I mean, Jay Cutler's made enough money for his entire lifetime. He's got a family. He had a career outside of football. Mm-hmm. I'm just not sure I understand from his point of view why you would come back. Football is a dangerous sport. And you never know what will happen next. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But, I mean, are we continuing to see how poorly these London games are? I mean, when will this end? I mean, when? When will this stop happening? I mean, and they're bad.
I know they do it for money. I'm guessing they're trying to work in, not for essentially a team to be over there, but I guess if you get more football fans over there, they buy more jerseys. Maybe they buy, whatever the pack, if they have Dish Network over there.
Donnie, I guess. You know that the teams make money off TV revenue, Donnie. That kind of stuff. How much money are they really going to make?
Well, a couple $100,000. It's got to be it's got to be more than that. I mean, if you have
English football fans, maybe the people that live there, but like I told Gabe, I mean, if you take 10 people that are from Britain. Let me ask you something, Donnie. Okay, today you had what games do you have today? You had Arsenal was playing. You had Liverpool that was playing. How many if you pull 10 English people that watch sports, how many of them do you think watch soccer over American football? Honestly.
No, I see what you're saying. The same thing with the Philadelphia Eagles, Jeff. Like the Eagles are playing at 4. Let's just say the Eagles were on the road today again, like they were playing the Chargers, and you put Arsenal and Man U at Lincoln Financial Field. I can tell you what I'm watching. You know what I mean?
Right. And then you have random people like me who I would, if it was the Eagles, I'd watch the Eagles. But if it was any other team, I would watch, But it's the whole pie is way bigger than one piece. I mean, I guess you'll take that one piece if you can get it. But I have to feel like it costs more than it's really, making sense to do. I don't get it, but. They'll make their decision.
It is interesting, though. Yeah. Jeff, Carolina, New England today. How about this one? 33-30 final. A nice win by Newton, bringing them back with I think it's like a 48-yarder at the gun up in New England. 2 losses at home this year, Jeff, to New England. Should actually be 0-3, but they were able to clip the Houston Texans at the bell. Tom Brady looks like Tom Brady. That defense stinks. Matt Patricia, the rocket scientist. I'm going to wear Roger Goodell clown shirts. You know what's kind of funny right now? How much would you pay for a picture right now of Goodell just like sitting in his living room with a clown Matt Patricia shirt on and tweets that out? How many fans would he gain from that if Roger Goodell did that tonight? As much as we all hate him, I would laugh my ass off at that.
Oh, he'd gain a lot of fans. That's a great point. Donnie, New England is 4.7 points a game worse than any other defense in the league. I mean, they're a dreadful team. I mean, defensively, they're giving up almost 22 yards more than anyone else through the air. I mean, at what point do you say to this guy, maybe it's time to move on from him? I mean, have they ever really had a great defense? I mean when you talk about defense,
Belichick's been able to scheme and they've been able to get through it. But again, we talk about the same thing.
Put over the list. Right.
It's easy to play good defense when you're up 14 points in the fourth quarter and you can just pin your ears back and play your cover two and take guys out of the game. But all of a sudden, when you're not getting stops out there and Tom Brady's out there trying to will you to victory, it's very hard because they're usually in that position where no matter what happens, Tom's going to save us and we'll have the lead in the fourth quarter. And that's not happening anymore.
No, and you're starting again. They're scoring points, but it doesn't matter how many points they score because
they can't stop anybody.
Like other years, right, and they could, like you said, their schemes could maybe they were always just doing more than the other teams, But now their defense is so dreadful that they have to literally score 35 points every single game to have a shot to win the game, and it's not just a shot now. They have to score close to 35 to win. If they have a down game or two, like today, they just didn't have enough to go in there win. And the defense, they couldn't get a stop. I mean, every time they needed a stop, they could not get one, and that's not going to change. I mean, it hasn't been one or two times. It's been every game this year they could not get stops. And Carolina is a bad offense. I mean, Carolina's bad. I mean,
Jeff Funchess was lighting them up today. When you're supposed to have two lockdown corners of Malcolm Butler and Gilmore, and Funchess is lighting you up out there.
Yeah, I mean, 444 yards for that offense.
Crazy, man.
I mean, they couldn't get off the field on third down. It's just not good enough if you're New England. And I think they have to take a hard, long look in the mirror. And Robert Kraft won't let that last too long, I wouldn't think. But their personnel is bad. I mean, they don't have much personnel. I don't think that they thought I thought they were a little too high on Stephen Gilmore coming in there. I mean,
paid him a lot of money.
What has he really done? Yeah. Patrick Chung. I mean, what do you have?
Eric Rowe.
Right. Well, Eric Rowe got injured today, by the way. Big man, how did you like Colorado State last night? I think they were the only ones on that slaughter, wasn't it? Yeah, I love it. Who was on Hawaii?
Yeah, Jeff, we always like to joke around on that. Like, the tout business gets a really bad name because it's Jeff. If you ever follow me and Jeff, you want to make the even keel. Every game means the same thing. There's no game that oh my God, I have to put all my money on it because that doesn't make sense in gambling. We're going to leave names out of this, but when you put a stamp on a game of the year, let's just say the game of the year you were on last night was Hawaii getting 7. If it's your game of the year, that line is off where Hawaii should walk away by a 14 to 20 point winner. That's how much you nail that game. When you put out games of the year, it gives everybody like game of the year. Oh my God, I have to buy this game. So if my rule in touting over the past, 10 years or whatever, but I've been following along, is if you lose your game of the year, you cannot have a winning season in football. Don't care if you go 101, but your game of the year loses, you automatically lost your entire season. Take the L.
Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined, Donnie.
Yeah.
No comment. New big man. No comment on that.
Hey, I'll see that. You turned over a new leaf. I know tomorrow you're going to have some changes too. Maybe new microphone appearances. We're going to feel good. But yeah, I get a good laugh out of that because, again, I'm in the business. I sell picks. Jeff sells picks. But just going about the business, doing it the right way where you're not.
Donnie, but we sell picks and we give out fantastic information. I make it a point to get information no one else has, and I have done that. I've came on here and given out tons of great stuff as far as people that are in or out. And Donnie, the hand ride that I gave you on Colorado State was absolutely beautiful. Washington was beautiful. Look, Vandy was a tough luck loss, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. But it's been fun. It's great coming on here and hashing it out with people. But yeah, I mean, if your play of the year last night was on Hawaii,
but why would that be your play? Why is that your play of the year? There are thousands of football games. That's your play of the year? Wow.
Sure, I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, I guess he didn't do his research last night because Colorado State took this really seriously this game, and it showed.
That's a damn good football team. And again, if it would have won, I'd be like, damn, that's a really shrewd, sharp move right there. But how do you lay it out there? Like, dude, I got this game pegged so good, and you get dropped, and I mean rocked. Was there any point in that game, Jeff, where you watched it or you were tagging along up at 2, 3 in the morning going, oh, man, here comes Hawaii? Never.
And by the way, these are guys that are called geniuses in this business. These are guys that people actually look up to. That's what these guys are. But, hey, we're just here to Grind away, Donnie.
Nah, we always, but don't get me wrong. We like to try to clean up the business, but we do poke fun at ourselves all the time. You see me mess around with the big man all the time. He messes around with me. We go back and forth on Twitter.
I asked Donnie how many cocktails he had earlier because I thought
see a guy get a toe dragged in the back of the
Donnie, my question is, you made the comment that you don't see how that gets overturned. You clearly saw the replay, no?
No, I didn't see the replay yet.
Okay.
It was a bang play. And if you follow my Twitter feed a minute later, I said, wow, that is a great catch. I mean, I always admit when I'm wrong. I don't ever be like,
sure.
no, try to drag it out.
I was just messing.
That was an unbelievable catch, man. But let's keep it moving here. I don't want to run out of time. I want to get to all these games because a lot of good stuff happened. We could probably go past this one. I thought Minnesota would win this football game versus Detroit. It was close. -1 it opened up, finished up, I believe, -3 by game time. Matthew Stafford just has some innate ability to win football games and not lose football games late. He's in this predicament, Jeff, every single week. Minnesota had a couple chances to win this game, but let's forget about the win and the loss here, Jeff. You have Case Keenum as your quarterback. Looks like you lost Dalvin Cook for the season with a torn ACL. They're not going to recover from this. They're not.
No, now it's back to oblivion for Minnesota. They have a good defense. I mean, you're not going to tell me anything different there, but
they do.
If you're team Minnesota, you got to find a way to win this game. You got to put away the negativity and say, you know what, we got to find a way to win this game. And Detroit's been really good this year. Really, them and the Eagles, I think, have really surprised in the NFL and the NFC at least. Yeah. They have a good quarterback, and they're doing it with a limited run game. A defense with not a lot of big names on it. They don't have a big name wide receiver either.
No Megatrons anymore. Nope.
Sure. And this is a game where Detroit would lose last year, and Detroit's finding a way to go on the road and win games like this. And this is the Case Keenum, and love, the guy that can't move the football, the guy that and you're right. Without Cook, that's a terrible loss. It really is because the kid was playing really well.
Yeah, no, we'll skip that game there. How about this next one? On the closing line, me and Gabe actually went with Houston in this one, Jeff. And I know you are as well. I'm a big Tennessee Titans backer. The game just felt bigger for Houston in the spot, and Will Fuller back. A nice game last week up in New England for the young quarterback to feel good about coming home. And again, you're facing the Tennessee Titans defense, not anything that's going to be, coming after you pass rush wise. You're not on the road. You're at home in the comforts there. They kicked the tar out of the Titans today. Mariota ends up getting hurt. That's a game-changing win/loss, Houston versus Tennessee in this one. That's going to set the tone for a while. I'm interested to see how they rebound or how serious that hamstring injury is for Marcus Mariota. But what a tail kick. 57-14. Yeah,
I was dead wrong on the side here, but I actually took the over in this game in the Jimmy the Bag contest. And I didn't understand the number, 43-ish. I didn't really, with Tennessee's defense, I don't really know how you put that number out there. And with an improved quarterback, all of a sudden, Houston can move the ball. You talk about hand rides. What a hand ride this game was. Houston just rolled in this one.
Right from the jump, too, Jeff.
57 points. Yeah. Houston University scored that combined this year. Impressive. And from a team that, look, if you asked me who would score 57 points in the NFL, the Texans would be very low on my list. This is a game that I think this town deserved. They haven't had, they've had a tough month or so here. This is a great win for them, and they might have a quarterback down there in the AFC South. But Donnie, we have to see what's up with Marcus Mariota. But if he's in there, I still like Mariota in this team.
I do. No. I'm not going to change again. We always talk week to week. Don't take too much. 57-14. It was a runaway freight train. Get that out of your mind. I'll take a look at the film to see what happened. But that was a tail kicking in this one. I just hope Mariota's not hurt that bad because otherwise,
actually, and I wanted to shout out to you guys. You guys, I jumped on your halftime show and I heard, because I watched I saw the Houston score and I'm thinking, does Tennessee really get any stops in this game? I'm going to just jump on the second half over and. Ended up coming in with a big second half from Tennessee. But, yeah, it's all going to be about can this Marcus Mariota get back because, he's important for them, surely.
Yep. Next game up here, we'll talk about Jeff Jacksonville and the New York Jets. How about the Jets playing hard? Now, don't get ahead of yourselves in this situation with the Jets. Again, we like to talk NFL week to week here. Let's put everything and come back into perspective because as the season goes on, the Jets' talent discrepancy is going to show itself. They had 2 home games. They're still feeling good. It's early in the season, somewhat healthy, and you beat the Miami Dolphins, which we see are an absolute train wreck, and then you beat the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road with Blake Bortles, and it came right down to overtime. Nice win for the Jets. Even on the closing line today, I said I would lean on the Jets and the points, getting 3.5 or 4, just because I didn't trust Blake Bortles. But going forward with the Jets, just buyer beware when they go on the road. They face a little bit more of a talented football team. They're probably not going to hold up. But again, 2 nice spots back-to-back weeks for the New York Jets. They get to win and cover in both of those football games. We'll see going forward. It's the same thing, Jeff, I'm going to tell you, and you're probably going to say the same thing about the Buffalo Bills. Really nice wins here, but time and space and what's going to take place going forward, because if we get back to that Atlanta football game that we talked about, that's a different game if Sanu and Julio Jones play in the second half. But again, I can't take away, it's the NFL. Injuries happen. Nice wins, but just temper those moving forward here.
Yeah, I was surprised by this game. I thought the Jags were kind of turning the corner a little bit. I mean, the Jets have done some good things at home so far this year. How about that? They try to find ways to screw this up at the end, though. I mean, what are you doing throwing with a minute to go if you're the Jets? I mean,
yeah, and almost had the strip sack, right?
Yeah.
Before overtime.
What are you doing? No, yeah, what are you doing?
Yes,
I mean,
exactly. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That's Jets football for you. But I think people like the Jag fans are starting to say to themselves, same old shit with the Jags. This is what they do. They look good for a couple games, and this is what they've been. They look great against Houston. Then they lose to who they lost to, and then they bounce back in London, and then they have a low spot here. So
Tennessee Titans beat them, Jeff.
Sure, there you go. Yeah. So it's just been up and down, and that's Jags football for you.
No, I agree. It was D. Patrick says I agree. It was a pretty good spot for the Jets. I didn't take it as a premium. I didn't even bet on the football game, but my opinion on the show was probably taking the Jets with the points the right way, and it looks like it turned out well. And Jeff, there's another play. First of all, let's talk Jets. I'm glad you brought that up because now it's just the visions are coming back in my head. To end the game, you almost get strip sacked, which would have been 5 seconds left. They would have tried to field goal Jacksonville to win that football game before you go to OT. Can we talk about the phenomenon, Jeff, of the backward pass in the red zone when you're going to put the football game away and you legitimately can take 3 knees and kick a field goal and you won the game? It turned into a touchdown for the Jaguars, which brought them right back into the game. Who invented the backward pass? Who invented that?
No idea. And it continues to never work, and people keep doing it. The people in this league are too fast to do that. I mean, it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know. What, coaches need to throw that play out. Eagles do it all the time. I mean, it works in college because the kids aren't quick enough to get off blocks, and they're not fast enough. But you'll see it in college. It works really well. I mean, you get 8, 9, 10 yards a clip on it.
And where's the teaching saying when this play comes up in the huddle? It is a live football. If offensive lineman, if you see it on the ground, make a play. How many times did they go out there, Jeff, and the ball's on the ground, the offensive player just stares at the football, and the defender just picks it up and goes to the house with it? It's amazing, but that play has to be outlawed, I should say, from anybody's playbook. Anybody's.
Yeah, as far as one thing back to Tennessee, I mean, I know Mariota went out, but, I mean, you only scored 14 points. I mean, they're an average defense in this league right now. I mean, I thought that was a little kind of, I mean, especially in garbage time, you score 14 points. I mean, they're another team that's interesting. I mean, they look good. They don't look good. Bubble screens and goal line fades. Yeah, I'm not a big fade guy either.
Especially you give me Mike Evans, we're throwing some fades. Other than that, you're right. I don't really want to deal with a fade.
Exactly. Yeah, give me Plaxico. But other than that, I don't want to do it.
Next up here, Jeff, the easy winner by you. Great call, Cincinnati, Cleveland. Not too much to say about that football game. It was an ass-kicking from the opening kickoff to a close. Cleveland was never in the football game. Hugh Jackson, I mean, you're supposed to be molding your quarterback and molding a young team. They look just dreadful. Maybe they're the team, Jeff, that's just like an 0-16 hanging out there. We'll see as it plays on down the line. And, oh, my God, they're going to get Myles Garrett back. Yeah, congratulations. That's not going to stop you or help you from scoring 7 points and can't really move the football, completely turning it over. But, again, Jeff, I know that was your only premium today. It was an unbelievable call. Easy walk-away winner. Pittsburgh and Baltimore, Jeff, 26-9 final. We talked about this all week long. It just seemed too easy, and I didn't give a damn. On the closing line all week long, looking at this game, trying to build the case for Baltimore. I couldn't build it. They got smoked by Jacksonville. I tried to take that out of the equation. But when the game boils down to it, you need playmakers and you need the other team that you can be able to stop. Decent defense for Baltimore, yes. Putrid offense. And when you look at the team player by player, Jeff, Baltimore's offense, you don't know where the offense is coming from. You're just praying out there that maybe you can kick some field goals with Justin Tucker, who seems to be missing field goals this year. Pittsburgh just did what they had to do. They were the more talented team, walked away with an easy victory here.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why the under wasn't talked about a little bit more from people. I mean, I know it was, but I mean, I feel like I was the only one that talked about it. I guess I didn't see it here. It ended up making it. It was a little bit tough at the end, but I mean, these teams don't score. I mean, especially the Ravens. I mean, they're a brutal offensive team. I mean, and I think the Steelers have really improved on the defensive side. It was nice to see the Steelers. Nice to see Le'Veon Bell get going. I have him in fantasy, so it was nice to see him get going. I think it's going to be a long season for the Ravens. I don't know if you saw, Donnie, their stadium was. I mean, there were people leaving. It was. I mean,
it's a really tough brand of football that they're playing right now. You're right. It really is.
They might be the worst offense in the league, honestly. I mean,
coming in the season. I mean, I wasn't really high on Baltimore coming in, but they win a couple games. They had them handed to them on a silver platter. Now, when other teams, Jeff, aren't turning it over left and right, they struggle out there. They can't make plays themselves, and they're an injured football team. Which, Jeff, what are we in week 4 in the NFL? It's only going to get worse. You're not going to get healthier as the season goes along. It just doesn't happen in the NFL.
Exactly.
Next tier up, Jeff, and we went over the little bit to talk about Buffalo and Atlanta. Nice win for Buffalo on the road, 23-17 final. I think the game might have turned out a little bit differently there if Atlanta had their 2 top playmakers on the outside, but I can't take away a lot about the Bills. Gabe asked me to build a case for the Bills and why you'd like them, Jeff, and we went over. Sean McDermott knows those stats, knows everything about it, and really got after it today with his defense. An impressive win, kept the ball on the ground, made plays, and Charles Clay, all of a sudden back to 5 years ago, like he's a dominant tight end, made plays when he needed to. Nice victory for Buffalo here, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I'll say about it. It was a nice win. You'll take these kind of games. I thought they got a little lucky personally, but they played great defensively for the most part. But again, I mean, we got to talk about the fact that they got 7 points gifted to them that shouldn't have happened. And the 2 best players for the opposition were out. So that definitely helps. But, yeah, no, listen, every win's a good win in the National Football League, Donnie. Hey, enjoy the win, man.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when we're out of the playoffs, like Andy Reid tells us.
Hey, enjoy the win, man.
Or let's go have a ham sandwich, one or the other.
Let's have a ham sandwich.
Jeff, going down the Giants in Tampa Bay. This is my second premium. I went 2-0 today, which was great. I had to sweat both games out for the most part. But Tampa Bay, Jeff, I'm sitting back, and I know I'm high on Tampa Bay. They won the football game, which is great. And then they beat the Giants, which is even better for me as an Eagles fan. Puts the nail in the coffin. I thought the Giants were in a good spot here, getting a couple points. I missed out early in the week, getting the 4.5. The line was technically today 2.5, like you could have got it maybe plus 105, but I spent a little bit of the juice there and got it to 3 points. Turns out I didn't actually need it. Maybe would have if they would have had a 2-point conversion or 2, but they didn't. It won. It covered. I'll put that money in the bank. But looking at this game overall, Jeff, the Giants just do what the Giants do. They needed to make some plays down the stretch. They made them on offense. They couldn't close it out on defense. Almost similar to last week with the Philadelphia Eagles ball game. They had the lead in the fourth quarter. You need one stop and you're going to win that football game, and you just couldn't get it done. And now you're sitting at 0-4, and that's a big win, Jeff, for Tampa Bay. A big win that shows, look, when we face, a team that has a good defense, has some weapons, a veteran quarterback, we pulled this game out when we were down. That's only going to help them going down the stretch, Jeff. And again, preface this by saying 2 big linebackers and a lot of playmakers out on that Tampa Bay defense.
This is what MVP type of quarterbacks do. This was a great performance from Jameis Winston. And to win the MVP, he's going to have a lot of these. This is a great start at home. You allowed the Giants to come back. But, hey, like many teams today, they found a way to get the job done. And at the end of the day, this is going to count in the win column and not in the loss column. Huge win. You had to figure New York would find some way to screw this up, and they did. I mean, I don't know what happened on the O.J. Howard play. This was a absolutely fantastic performance. I think the best performance of the day, probably one of the best by Winston. I mean, just fantastic as always. He's a great quarterback. That's what great quarterbacks do, Donnie.
Jeff, as an Eagle fan with money on that football game, I got a Giants winner in the bank, and I got a Giants loss in the L column. Does it get any better than that?
I'll tell you what, you lucked out in that game, surely.
They were getting smashed early, Jeff. I'm telling you, I was almost ready for a text from behind the scenes from me going, I told you about Tampa Bay. Why would you take the Giants?
Well, I wanted to because
you would have been right because they were getting smoked.
Well, I don't know if you caught the obligatory Bucks are rolling. Love it. I don't know if you saw that tweet.
You did. Who did that? I didn't.
That was me.
You bastard, man.
But again, you know what? You won your bet, and hey, they lost. So
that's good stuff. Funny by you, man. I didn't even see that junk. Anyway, Jeff, we'll get to a couple of these games. We have a couple minutes left. We're going to spend at least 3 to 4 minutes and talk about that Sunday Night Football game. One last game to get to here. Oakland and Denver. We'll go over that one really quickly. Denver pulls that game out. Everybody and their grandmama was on Denver. Congratulations. You cashed in 16-10, lower scoring game. David Carr goes out with almost an injury, Jeff, that looked like Tony Romo's type injury. So we'll see how that goes down the stretch. But also, Philadelphia Eagles go on the road. I said it all week. Good football teams win this game versus an undermanned team. You know, you're going out and the Eagle fans showed up there. Basically, it was a home game. And you pull that football game out. 6 minutes to go on the clock. You're up 2 points. You run that football right down the field and bludgeon that Chargers team. And you go 3-1 on the season. Big win for the Eagles, Jeff.
Yeah, and no one will know because not a lot of people watch the Eagles like we do. You know, every single play, and you know they're interested in it. But Carson Wentz just continues to be a magician. I mean, he's a magnificent. I mean, just what he does. I mean, with the football. I mean, look, he does hold on to it too long, but he just makes. I mean, the throw he made to Aguilar. I mean, just he's great. And I was so impressed with the fact that they took the ball over 6 minutes and grinded that clock away.
Beautiful.
In previous seasons, they don't do that.
Nope.
They set up for a field goal
and out and punt it back. Yes.
Right. But yeah, it was great. I didn't get why the Chargers were a favorite in this game. I still don't. They don't win games like this ever. And I think if you bet the Chargers today, I don't really see how it was a trap, Donnie, personally. I mean,
no, it wasn't a trap.
And
again,
really,
you know, I didn't think the Eagles were in a great spot early in the week, but as the week went on, the more I thought about the football game, I thought the Eagles would be able to move the football, which they did. And again, when it all boils down to it, if you're going to play, Jeff, San Diego down in Qualcomm, that's a completely different atmosphere and a true home game for the Chargers. Take them out of that environment, put them in Carson and say, wait a second, Jordan Hicks is in the middle of the field on 3rd and 8, waving the crowd to get loud, and it sounded like they were at Lincoln Financial Field. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
You know what, Donnie, and I want to also say another thing. The run game today was absolutely magnificent. Yep. I mean, absolutely great. And, you know, I'm sold on this run defense. I don't care who they played today. They dedicated to the run. And, you know, I think we need to apologize a little bit to LeGarrette Blount because, you know, I think they put him in bad situations. I mean, you know, making him run, you know, horizontally instead of vertically. But today was an absolutely perfect day from them. And that's what you have to do in this league. You have to make decisions and hit people where they're weak. And they are weak against the run, the Chargers. And Doug did a great job. So very happy. You get the shitty Cardinals next week at home. So should be fun. And as far as Torrey Smith is concerned, he's not playing well, but they're still winning. Fletcher Cox didn't play. They're still winning. So they'll get healthy. They'll be fine. Donnie, tonight, though, this game,
yes.
And I feel like we're just delaying the inevitable. We have to talk about it at some point. And then we'll get going and get ready to go for the show tonight. Seahawks 12.5, total 42. You know, I'm going back and forth on this, and you know, I feel like all games that we've talked about on Sunday night, I feel like we had a pretty good side, but this is a tough game. And this is where I think as gamblers, sometimes you have to just say to yourself, "There's no advantage here," so I'm not gonna. Yeah, of course I blasted Doug on Twitter because during that rounds of play calling, he was terrible. Down the goal line, he was horrible in that series. I mean, 7 times it took them to get to the end zone. He was bad. But overall, he did the right thing today. He stayed with the run, and he had to stay with the run because people were critical. And I will admit, I did call him out on that series because he was bad. against the Donnie, you have to admit, during that series, his play calling was poor.
Now,
it was
overall, he stuck with the run, and I give an A+ today. But there was one play call, which everybody saw down by the goal line, where it's a Darren Sproles play call. It's the reverse out where you flip back and try to catch the defense, flowing one way, and your speed back goes the opposite way. Carson Wentz almost threw the football by LeGarrette Blount, and LeGarrette Blount got stuffed for like a 1 or 2 yard loss. That was a really bad play call, but they get bailed out, I think, Jeff, the very next play with an illegal hands to the face, which allowed them to score a touchdown. That was his only bad play call, and you can't have those down there in the red zone. Smallwood should have been in the football game. Clement should have been in the football game. You can't have LeGarrette Blount run that toss play.
Right. No, I just wanted to make my point there. And look, I don't like Doug Peterson. I make that clear. I think he's a moron personally, but he did the job today. Yeah, it does put you in a good mood for sure. And Ace, I will say to you, you were talking shit on your Panthers as well. So, just remember that.
Big game.
Listen, we're passionate people, Donnie. We are passionate football fans here in Carolina and Philadelphia. We're passionate. We love our football teams here, and we wear our heart on our sleeves in this city. Donnie,
let's get to this game.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. I'm going to go, and I'm going to come right out and say it. I'm going really small in this game. Not betting it big. Just going to, half a unit on this game. I'm going to go over the total in this game. I think it's going to find a way over. I look at Seattle. I think this is a great game for them to get right in, Donnie, against this bad Indianapolis defense. They were able to score last week against a bad defense in Tennessee. I think at home here, I think they're going to be able to do some good things offensively here. Yeah. I think it's a good game for Russell Wilson to get going in. And I do sense a little chink in the armor of Seattle defensively. I do think Brissett can put up 13 to 20 points. I'm going to guess it's more along the lines of 13 to 17. But I do believe this one is like a 31-17 type of game. I think people just immediately think that with Seattle, it's going to be low scoring and ground and pound. But I think you're going to see Russell Wilson outside of the pocket a little bit here. And I think Brissett is the right quarterback right now for Indianapolis. They have some weapons with T.Y. Hilton and others. Maybe Gore to grab about 1 or 2 rushing touchdowns. I think it's a 31-17 type of game. I think the spread's too close to call, but I'm going to go over in this game.
Yeah, I would lean possibly towards going over, but if I'm looking at a side in this football game, I think it's going to be really nice to match up here with Seattle. I know their offensive line stinks. Russ usually makes magic at home. Didn't play very well versus the Niners at home. But let's take a look at the Indianapolis Colts. The one thing they do is they're going to bring a little bit better of a defense because Vontae Davis is back at cornerback. But if you take a look at opening day, they were gashed, sliced, beaten, punched in the face versus the Rams, which looks like the Rams have a pretty good offensive game. They came home against the Cardinals in their own environment, blew that football game, beat an awfully bad Cleveland football game at home. Now you're stepping out. You're going into Seattle. You're not going to be able to hear the calls. It's Jacoby Brissett. I don't see the Colts scoring many points tonight. If I had to lean on this football game and take a side, I can see something in the range, Jeff, like a 28-10 victory by the Indianapolis Colts. Early in the week, you're looking at the line. Most of the public saying it's too many points. Seattle stinks. Look at they're just not the same football team. Their offensive line stinks. Doug Baldwin's injured in this one. I think they're going to be able to lean on their run game in this one. I think Ruff's going to make enough plays, but I don't think the Indianapolis offense is going to be able to effectively move the football in this environment. I think they're going to win by 2 touchdowns in this environment. I do even see, Jeff, going down, you can get 12.5 right now. I'm going to take a little taste of the Seattle Seahawks tonight, Jeff, minus the 12.5. I think they win this game, walking away by 2 touchdowns or more here, Jeff.
Yeah, and I think 31-17 would be just perfect. As far as Michael Bye at teasers, Michael, I can't tell you that I haven't bet teasers in my life. I did them last year. I can't tell you I haven't.
Great teaser today, Jeff.
For me,
with Atlanta and New England, right?
Oh, sure. But teasers are basically something that I kind of relate them to, like when you're in high school and you start drinking beer and you think you're cool and you're hey, I'm cool. I'm drinking beer, and then you find liquor. You find liquor's it's a little more high class, a little bit better, and it's you graduate to that. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I don't bet teasers much anymore. I do think they're kind of sucker bets personally, because like Donnie said, they look too good to be true usually, and usually they are. How many times a week do we see teasers go down? And I could very well see if you tease Indy up to 19 here, I could see them lose 38-7 here. I could very well see that. I think if you're going to tease anyone, you should tease Seattle. down to 6.5. But again, I'm not a real. I don't do teasers anymore.
Yeah.
I kind of graduated away from that. Protest the NFL says music like
Yes.
water.
I agree. Not watch football.
Going to do, but maybe you can do that, music like water. Maybe we'll. Again, you're going to have to convince a lot of people of that in a short time because you're about to jump off here. But I'm going to go over, Donnie. You're going to go with the what do we have on the total here? What is it?
41.5, it looks like, Jeff. Chris, 41.5. Battle Line, 41.5. Greek, 41.5.
So let's go 34-13 will be a winner.
I agree, man. Hey, by the way, guys, I'm going to jump off here. Jeff is going to continue right along with Gabe on the Betcast in just a couple minutes. A lot of fun they have throughout the show. They'll be with you, what, Jeff? You guys going to go probably 4 hours tonight on the show?
We'll be on the whole show, start to finish. And if any indication of last week how it ended, could be fun or could be I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But hey, we're going to go. We'll see you in a couple minutes on the Betcast. Join us over there. We'll talk about the game live. I'll get some better lighting. I got to hook a light up here, and we'll rock with it here. Catch us tomorrow on the right side of campus, 12:30. We'll recap college. A lot of fun things there, and the NFL as well. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.